What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bill Forster. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. Um, in this segment, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Still so much going on in the world today, and I do what I do, and I try to bring you the best and informative on what I can do, and the people that I rock with and I bring on the show. They try to give you the best of what they can do. Today, um, I'm really glad. Shout out to Barry Lee for putting this together because he um he introduced me to this brother, and he was saying how this brother and I are doing what we do separately, and why not come together collectively. And you know I respect Barry so much. He's a good dude. We've always had a great relationship. I I took it upon myself to you know this brother here, Guy Brown, sent me a friend request. So, we're both in law enforcement. We come to find out we have a lot in common. So we are brothers from a lot of different avenues. Martial arts, law enforcement, connoisseurs of cigars. He's more eclectic than I am, but we're gonna get into that. Um, but when I looked at his page, I saw a lot of things that resonate to what I do and how I do it. Hey Marlene, how you doing, sis? So I asked him, I said, yo, brother, please come on my show if you're free. He's free. He's here. He has a show. He's going to tell you about it, but I'm going to let him tell you about himself. Ladies and gentlemen, first, this is Real Talk Chronicles. Right now, we're on YouTube Live. We're on Facebook Live. So anybody out there that's watching, share it from my page to your page so people out there can see what we're talking about and what we're going to kick it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you Mr. Guy Brown, and he goes by, what is it, the boldest, boldest
Well,
rider MC?
that's a name for my MC, but I had just put it in because we were doing some promotional stuff. But
Right.
everybody calls me Swole. That's my bike name.
Okay.
But the show that I have is Guy Witness News,
All right.
and I broadcast every other Sunday. I used to broadcast every Sunday, but being that Trump gives you so much material, you can't. Yeah, I mean, it just be I'd be inundated every
Yes.
day with his bullshit. So
Yes.
excuse my language, but the
Yeah.
way
No.
that it
Mhm.
goes, most of the time is you got enough stuff to talk for an hour, hours, and that takes away time from your family and what else you have to do. So that's it. I do it every other weekend. So this Sunday I'll be doing it, and I usually do it. I used to do it when I first started. I used to do it on football Sundays at 1 o'clock. But with the Kaepernick boycott that I started doing in 2016, I started moving it, and it, got like that. But after a while, he came back, he got his money. I'm pretty happy with what he did, and he's
Mhm.
working and he's doing his own thing. So I started watching football again. So now I usually do it Sundays at 12. And
Awesome.
that's it.
Awesome. That's what's up. All right. Vivian Garcia said, God Witness News. So she must know about you, and that's what's up. So, um, also too, I said that we are brothers in skin, but we're also brothers by badge.
Yeah.
I I rep corrections wholeheartedly because it was between corrections and NYPD, and I have a lot of strong affiliates with corrections department. Shout out to
Yeah.
all my correction people: Sean Jones, Bobby
Mm.
Green, Guy Baker. You like all the sisters. Like there's so many sisters. Rest in peace, Lenny Holmes. So there are so many different people
Yeah.
that Dave Shepard in the building. You know what I mean? There's so many different people that we have connections with. But let's talk about your law enforcement career.
Well, I did 27 years, from 13 and a half as an officer, 13 and a half as a captain, better known to you guys as a sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
And I supervised, officers and whatnot. And then I went into the union aspect of it, and I became the second vice president of the captain's union. And subsequently, my last 2 years, went out of there, went to Manhattan to pad my pension. And,
Absolutely.
you know, you got to do what you got to do. And left from there in 2014, been retired 6 years.
Yeah. And I'm going to give a shout out to my man, Norman Seabrook. You know, if you know, I don't care what anybody thinks about him. You know, he did a lot for the corrections department,
Mm-hmm.
and also too, you know, it seems like how NYPD has embraced Carrick again. We can embrace our brother too. You know what I'm saying?
Man, first of all, PBA embracing Trump. Now you got Carrick, who's a career criminal. He was a criminal with us in corrections. He stole a whole bunch
Exactly.
of stuff. Then he went to PD and he did what he did. And the only
Yeah.
reason he got busted was going up there for that Homeland Security job.
But and also too, let's people don't realize, you know, and he kind of took the fall for Giuliani because he was, you know
Well,
what I'm saying?
he was supposed to. That was his
Yeah,
man. You know,
yeah,
listen, you know, I won't say it's white privilege. I'll say that he knew that if he didn't take that, it was going to be no more money ever in his life. He could ride
absolutely,
what he did with Giuliani for the rest of his life.
absolutely, absolutely. And then you know now he comes out and he speaks, and Giuliani took care of him. He did. You know what I'm saying?
And I can't call it.
Yeah, he really did. So you know, I'm glad you brought up something when you talked about Kaepernick. Um, right now, a lot of people, well, back then, people had a lot of problems with this brother speaking up about, you know, statistic racism and unjust, you know, and police brutality.
Mm-hmm.
And they blackballed him out of the
Out of
football.
the, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell me what your first mentality was when you first heard this, and like what was you like? Give it to me.
Um, I think that when it first happened and he took that knee, I looked at it and I said, you know, he's exercising his rights. Now, I was also in the Navy, so I know taking a knee is not disrespectful to anybody or anyone. Actually, it's honoring things, you know, when you take a knee.
Say that
So,
again for him, guy. Say that again for them, because I think a lot of people in the military, you know, and first everybody out there. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Foster. Today I have Mr. Guy Brown from Guy Witness, and he is in the building. What's up, Colin? What's up, Sharon? Side Dean in the building. Earl, Pam, Vivian. We see you. Lucky, my man. Tamara, what's going on, everybody? I appreciate you all. Jason, I see you in the building. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to the correction officers' families, you know, the Hockadays, you know, all my correction people. I appreciate you so much. What's up, Ed Scott, my childhood bro? Um, you know, just break it down for him again, for me, guys. Just give it to him again.
listen, most military people know this. The ones who are on Trump's side don't want to say it, but they know it. When you take a knee and you're in the military, it's to honor something. It's not to disrespect something. Most people make prayers on their knees. So this whole mystique about him dishonoring the flag, especially when the NFL didn't even come out the tunnel before they started singing honoring
Absolutely,
the flag. They didn't even come
absolutely,
out before, but it was the military that paid the NFL a certain amount of money to start doing that. So, you know, for that whole thing, that whole scenario to take place in 2016 when he got disrespected, not hired again to play football, blackballed the whole nine from every owner, from every player, just to see what's happening now and see that everybody's coming together in the NFL and it's Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. Where were y'all, all you players, all you owners back in 16?
right,
Where were
right,
they? They were sitting
right.
up there making all this money and daring people to get on a knee and ostracizing them for it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely,
now it's popular. Now it's
yeah,
popular. Kaepernick, he gave up his whole career, but he'll always be famous and always be a civil rights icon. Where are those
absolutely,
players who ostracized him and didn't participate? Where are they now? Some of them, when you play pro ball, it's not forever. So when
yeah,
you finish with that pro ball career, what are you looking at?
yeah,
Somebody remembers you, somebody don't. Well,
Right.
Kaepernick will always be remembered.
He will
That's
always be remembered. And
mhm.
it's so funny. And I don't know what it was like for a lot of the correction officers, but the NYPD had such a disdain for this dude. Oh, he disrespected the flag. He disrespected the anthem. Like, yo, you're more worried about a song that disrespects people of color than you are about the cause that he was deciding to kneel for. Like,
And
how crazy is that? And I'm gonna say it again for the people in here, all the way back up in the nosebleed section. You were more concerned about a song than the cause. Even to this day, people are still more concerned about. You're not worried about the causes. You're worried about what people are fighting for the causes. I tell people all the time, people have a problem with anybody that speaks up for people of color. They have always been considered terrorist groups. You got Proud Boys now,
mhm,
QAnons, you got
mhm.
all kind of Antifa groups, but you still want to talk about Black Lives Matter.
Well, that's a fear. Um,
Mhm.
it's not a fear from us. It's a fear from the other side that doesn't know our history. And when you don't understand something, you have cause to be fearful. So I understand that, but what I don't understand is how did the American flag get hijacked by Trump?
Mm,
So you got all these guys riding around in these trucks, pickup trucks mainly, with the American flag and the police officer flag, and they're riding around and they got Trump flags along with it. Now, how did our American flag all of a sudden become a Trump symbol?
crazy.
Come on, man. I mean, if you can't recognize, and what I my daughter comes to me with this what is that thing with the TikTok? She
Oh
comes to me
yeah,
with
yeah.
TikTok all the time. Some of these kids are now doing this challenge where they catch their parents being racist, and they
Mm,
tell them, they actually school them on the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And it's
right, right, right.
amazing, man, how they just tell them, you sitting up here telling me these stats about how many white people kill white cops, or white people are killed by cops and stuff like that. But statistically, blacks are 3 times more, and they give them the whole statistics and the whole thing. So
It's true. Yeah.
my whole thing about it is we're doing all this behind what Kaepernick put out there for us in 16.
Mm-hmm.
All this is from when Kaepernick stepped up in 2016 and said, "We have a problem, America," and
Right, right, right.
I cannot stand for a flag. No, I'm sorry, I cannot stand for an anthem that says it's the home of the free, because I'm not free.
Not at
Brothers
all.
going out there getting killed every day, they're not free, and it's not just about. I'm gonna say it like this: it's not just about the cops or white cops killing black unarmed people. It's about anybody unarmed being killed, whether you're black,
Absolutely.
white, Hispanic, whatever it may be. If you're unarmed, I understand. I understand that, and I grew up out here in Long Island. I
Okay.
come from Roosevelt, went out to the city, got my job, and I moved back out here later on in life. I know the fear factor that some of these law enforcement officers have. They haven't
Okay.
dealt with they haven't dealt with black and Hispanics people on this mass
Let,
experience.
yes.
So when they go into a situation, unlike me and you who are trained martial artists, we know how to deal with somebody. We're confident. We can
Exactly.
handle our situations usually. Maybe even a knife technique or two, right? so
Absolutely.
so um, when you have that confidence level, you don't have to pull your gun right away.
No,
You can
no.
deal with a combatant that way. And if you don't have that kind of training, you don't have that kind of confidence, what you reaching for all the time?
Exactly. God, I want you to hold that thought. Everybody out there, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Force. And today I have my uh, brother in blue, brother in the art, us, to him, Guy Brown, the boldest MC riders and all that. He'll talk about that. Cigar connoisseur. Shout out to everybody reaching out to us. Shout out to my man Andrew Kearney in the building. Al Frierson. These is your, I guess, Long Island brothers. Al, these are my 2-8 brothers too.
Okay.
Yeah, Al and I were partners. Alfonso Frierson and I were partners. And Andre, he came in under us. Big B, I can't answer that phone call right now. I see you calling me in. Um, listen, shout out to everybody. Felix Pedroza in the building. Lynn Woody, I see you. I see you, Louie. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching, checking us on. This is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like what you're hearing, I'm chopping it up with Guy Brown. We're going to talk about corrections. We're talking about racism. We're just talking about the job. We're talking about all kind of stuff. Kaepernick, you name it. We're going to cover as much as we can. I'm going to let this brother flow with it. What's up, Vanetta? I see you in the building. Um, Shout out to Robert Taylor is also in the building. So, like I said, everybody out there, just go under my Facebook page and share it to your page. It's on YouTube Live. Whomever, ever, we all here. Uh, Al Fry said one day I'm gonna have to get you on the show too, brother. So yeah, guy, let's go back to the mentality of people being scared. Now, this is what's is confusing me. Where I used to always say I didn't understand why NYPD has such a disdain for correction officers because you're not in the jails with these dudes. You still got the gun on the hip. You understand what I'm saying? You lock down with these cats all the time. So, like, I know you were elaborating a little bit. Maybe if you can elaborate a little bit more on why you think officers are scared. And now we're talking about people of
Well,
color too. Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, in a jail situation, the only thing you got is these and this. So
Right.
you're talking to these guys, and your simulation to them may be same race or different race, but you have to
Right.
learn how to have some kind of communication skills with them. When all else fails, this is the only thing you got: your hands, your feet, whatever you can use.
Right.
What I
Right.
don't understand in the PD, how should I say it? The PD
Just say,
use of force,
yeah.
deadly use of force,
Mm-hmm.
is the continuum of it. Now, you got a guy who's just talking smack. He reaches. I understand your fear factor. I understand you thinking that he got a gun. Maybe you want to shoot him or whatever. But if you're close enough to a guy to subdue a guy with your hands, why aren't you? The other thing about using a taser, I understand that, and that's good. I just don't understand the unarmed guy getting shot and killed. I just don't understand. I'm never going to understand that, because
Yeah.
if you're really fearful of this person and they don't have a weapon on them whatsoever, how come you shooting them?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times, as I've started seeing over the course of the years later on, talking about going backwards because it definitely wasn't when we were working on this job. We were taught you better not bring your gun out. If you bring your gun out, you better sure have a damn sure good reason to use it. So
Mm-hmm.
it made people of color. I mean, I'm sure officers, and I can't speak for all black officers or Latin officers, but you sure damn near was scared to pull that gun out because you knew it had to be a smoking gun situation for you to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
Right now, you see across the world, people were shooting and talking about I was in fear of my life. Now, I don't understand that. Help me understand that from a military standpoint. Would you tell your colonel, your lieutenant, or whomever, your captain? Yeah, he said, "Yo, take that wall or hold that bunker down." Nah, I'm scared. It's like, yeah, like, I
Um,
had, my uncle was one of the first Black Marines. You know what I'm saying? My other cousins, I've had
salute.
cousins all in the military. I've
Yeah.
had cousins do Secret Service. Like we
Man,
never heard anything like that.
man, listen. When they came up with that one, I feared for my life. I just said, "Are you a civilian or are you a police officer, professional?"
Right,
Because if
right,
you're
right, right.
professional, there's certain circumstances in which you took that job that you have to know certain things. You have to
Absolutely.
know that your life is always at danger. When you come into corrections, they tell you straight off the bat, you can get stabbed, you can get beat up, you can get raped as a man. So if you want this job, you need to learn how to protect yourself. And that's
Damn.
that. But that
Yeah.
came along with the job. Now, nobody wants to say, I signed up for a job, and me being shot or killed is part of it.
Right.
But
Right.
you being a
But we know it comes with it can happen.
right.
And let me just
That
interject with that. Let me just interject like that. I tell people all the time, I've been on this job, I did this job, I can be shot at. I've been shot at, right? I didn't take a test for FD. I would have never taken a test because fire and me don't get along.
no
So
sir.
you know what? I understand that. So
Yeah.
that's why I never went down that road.
Right.
But
Right.
the one thing too, there isn't anybody in any law enforcement capacity. You know, when you sign up for this job, the likelihood there is a small possibility that you can lose your life doing the job that you chose to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people understand that. So that's why when I hear a lot of times I hear officers talk about, oh, I signed up, I put my life on the line. Well, you took the job. Ain't nobody tell you not to take the job, fool. You know what I'm saying? They get me hot with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that, holier than thou mentality. And I'm not saying that, we're not sometimes the people have that mentality we're above the law. Let me tell you something. When you put your life on the line, you can get that mentality. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is don't take it to a point where you feel that you have a job of a civil servant, because that's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
So act civil, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
with it.
And it means civil servant means you serve the civilians. It's not the other
Exactly.
way around. So, when people turn around and they say blue lives matter, so does nurses' lives, sanitation people lives, everybody lives.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is when they say Black Lives Matter, it's a problem because Black people being killed at that rate. So,
Exactly.
I respect, listen, I respect law enforcement. I've been law enforcement 27 years, like I said, but you're not
Oh,
going to sit here.
but let me just interject. I want people out there to understand when people like yourself and I speak up
Mhm.
and we say what we say, and it seems like we're talking against law enforcement. It's not that we're not anti-law enforcement. It's just we're anti the nonsense and the BS.
There you
You
go.
understand what I'm saying? So
There you go.
go ahead,
You
brother. Finish. I
know,
apologize. Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
no, no, no. That's a good point. But to hijack Black Lives Matter and say that Blue Lives Matter, listen, just cut the bullshit. You know,
Right,
we
right.
signed up for a job, and granted, we could always use more pay, but they pay you well, and
Yeah,
sometimes they pay you for what you might have to do, not what you do. So
absolutely.
so there's a lot of downtime, there's a lot of good times, but when that situation hits you, that you got to act in your capacity, don't cry. Just do your job. And that's
Yeah,
it. And be thankful that you can walk out of there with a good pension, a variable supplement, that little Christmas check that comes every December,
yep,
and
yeah.
live your life and have a good time. Because I went to correction peace officer conference.
Hmm.
You will never understand because we're considered peace officer when we're working. When you retire, you're nothing. You're just a
Right,
civilian with a gun.
right,
And of
right.
course, you got the HR 218, which allows you to carry in every state.
Yes.
But when I went to the peace officer conference and I hear the horror stories about these right to work states, and these officers get paid like $5, $6, $7, $8 an hour. They got to stay.
Crazy.
They got to stay on post and eat lunch. They got to work extra tours. Yes, bruh. They got to work extra tours at the same pay, and they can be fired without any kind of disciplinary procedure.
No, they don't have any union. That's
Huh?
crazy to me.
That's the right to work state. And I met these
Yeah,
guys, and these guys are like, they're holding it down. They're trying to do their job. And then you have to realize when you don't pay somebody a fair wage, they might want to go out there and find a way to make that wage fair. And that's where your
yeah,
corruption happens. So, that's my feeling on that.
yeah. Hold on a minute. Everybody, I want to shout you out. Thank you for chiming in with us. I appreciate you so much. I am Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles, and this is Guy Brown on Guy Witness from his podcast and his show that he does in. And we are just chopping it up about life and keeping it real. I want to shout out to people. I see you, Sharon Saunders. She says, I wish more people in law enforcement were courageous like the two of you to speak and be honest. Thank you. Makala, I see you. Lily, I see you, Lisa Renee. I see you. Kenny Stella, former 2-8 in the building. Vanetta, some see some see the position of being a cop as maybe a license to kill. We can discuss that. I'll let Guy chime in on that. Vanetta said also too, nowadays these officers don't fear losing their jobs, pension, or being investigated. Some are police officers that shouldn't be. Very true. George
Yeah.
Rosen in the building. Elizabeth Thompson's in the building. Darren Savage in the building. Yes, former 2-8. 2-8 is strong today. I appreciate you all. Um, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I'm talking with Guy Brown, former corrections union supervisor, my martial arts brother. Has his own show, Guy Witness. We'll let him tell you more about that. We are just talking about law enforcement, politics, a whole bunch of other stuff. We gonna chop it, brother. We gonna chop it. So yeah, man. I don't know. What do you want to think? You think you want to elaborate on what Vanetta said? Some of these, some see this position of being a cop as maybe a license to kill. Do you think that?
Not necessarily. I think
Right.
it becomes a easier for them
Mm-hmm.
to pull their firearm and
Mm-hmm.
understand that 90% of their action is going to be viewed as positive.
Right. Right.
Especially about we know how unions act. Unions are always going to act in the best interest of their constituents. So
Mm-hmm.
Patty Lynch is going to come out right away and say, my man did nothing wrong. He's going to get representation and all that stuff. But the problem is when it gets to the point where they get bigger than the badge and they think that they
Absolutely.
have the ultimate authority to circumvent the law. When you turn around and you start telling people that are filming that you knock their camera out their hand, they're standing on the sidewalk, you tell them to go down the block and all that other stuff, and they're just honestly filming what they have the right to do. It leads people to think that that's the type of cop right there that's going to take advantage of him having a badge. Because if he
Absolutely.
didn't have that badge,
Wouldn't do that.
no.
No.
And we know plenty of brothers in blue. Yo, if they didn't have that badge,
Woo!
and yo man, and corrections, oh these oh my god, it was like why are you allowing yourself to attach yourself to me only because I'm black? So
Yeah.
you're scared and you're attaching yourself to me to try and keep you safe.
Yeah.
So can't fight your way out of paper bag. You're sitting up here, you're popping off, and then when the guy gets a hold of you, you yelling for help.
Sounding like a movie. Oh, went
Come
full
on,
setup.
man.
He could have joined the Temptations. Oh my
Yo.
God! Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I've seen it. I've seen it out of the academy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the one thing I can say about me, and anybody that's ever worked with me can say it. We can always joke about me. I didn't like paperwork, but tactically, I was second to none. You know what I'm saying? In the street, I did my thing, and they
Yeah.
all know that.
Yeah.
So they they from the academy they knew that, and the
Okay.
cats that I didn't even speak to, like when we was doing scenarios
Mm-hmm.
and training exercise, um, Cats was like, "Yo, like I said, who you want to go with you to the tack house? I want to go with Bill." Wait, we don't even talk, yo.
They called out your name before they finished the sentence. Bill.
I, yo, we ain't break a bread. We ain't share a pencil, a pen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The funniest thing is when they come get you. You ain't nowhere near, but they come get you and say, "Yo, we got a problem. Can you get?" And you're just looking at people going, "So you actually get paid the same amount as money as me?" For doing,
absolutely,
come on, man. I mean, we all got that in every profession, but it's worse when you got a badge, and now that badge makes you Superman. And in
absolutely,
the community, people wear vests, and all of a sudden you put on this vest, you finally get your colors after a year of probation, and now all of a sudden you come out and you Superman. Listen, that vest don't protect you from getting shot, getting hurt, getting killed. So that should be the same thing.
let me let me ask you a question. Shout out to Gerald Evans in the building. Tina, cousin Tina is in the building. What's up, Walt? I see you. Um, Do you think people ask me all the time? Do you think there's racism within in law enforcement?
Systemic racism. How about that? I mean,
Got
this system was not built for us.
No.
Actually, it was built for us.
Yeah.
You know, when we have been singled out for centuries. You know, since
Right.
law enforcement has started, since the penal system has started, um, it was a way of having legal slavery. So yeah, that I mean, you know, it look when I actually applied for New York City Police, State Trooper, Corrections, Nassau County Police. New York City told me we lost your investigator. So listen, we'll get back to you. By that time, I got on corrections. About a year and a half later, they're calling me. I'm off probation already. I'm making good money. I'm good. Nassau County calls me 8 years later. After a lawsuit hit them, now they calling me, talk about you got to go down to 25,000 in the academy. Wait a minute, I'm making 80, and you want me to
Nah. Yeah, you
good?
wasn't doing that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm good. So systemic racism, you know, they wasn't letting us on. They was not letting us on PD. And that's what the Nassau County Police lawsuit was about. There was hardly any blacks in there, and my cousin wound up getting on the same time I went to orientation with her, and she's now a sergeant at Nassau County. But
Okay.
systemic racism started with the hiring process. They don't want you on there because they feel that you're not worthy. You know, the
Right.
Irish was big in police department for the longest. You know, and the funny thing about corrections, man, it's just the opposite. It's mainly a law enforcement department made of minorities. But
Mhm.
guess who's in charge? Not
Still
us.
in charge.
You know,
Exactly.
you know the
It
little
still
bit
ain't
that
us.
we
It
have.
still ain't us.
You know, so that's where systemic racism starts. And
Right.
you know, from my view with PD, is once you start allowing blacks to take leadership roles and stuff like that, yeah, we can, you know, get in there and quell some of the shit. But it starts at the low tier of the officer and it runs up the course. And you know, we all know the blue wall of silence. We
Right.
all know
Right.
what
Right.
goes on. But at the same time, you cannot sit up here and tell me for 1 second that you don't see a black person and think bad guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where it came from. Black guy, bad guy. He's staying in the hood because he loves the hood. You know, there's generations of people who was on welfare because that's what happened. You know,
Yeah.
and you know the redlining, the gerrymandering that happened when I
Hmm.
bought my house. They didn't take me to the other neighborhood. They
No.
took me
No.
right. You know, no
To the
matter.
hood. To
And
the hood.
I grew up in Long Island, so I know that Long Island is one of the most racist counties, Nassau and Suffolk County, most racist counties in the nation. So
Right.
you can
Right.
go anywhere out here and you can see racism firsthand. But it's also in the location and where certain pockets are of blacks and Hispanics. So they keep
Right.
you there. They won't show you a house over in Smithtown, Comac,
Yeah.
Miller Place. They as soon as I came out here, now my boy lived up the block from me, so I was good. You know, and the neighborhood was mixed. But I couldn't get a realtor to take me anyplace else. They were
Mm-mm.
steering me to where they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I don't have a problem with it. But the systemic racism is perpetuated throughout everything.
Yeah.
Economics, banking system, the banking system, denying us loans and everything else. And PD is a part of that. And so is corrections. I'm gonna tell you the truth, so is corrections. So
Yeah.
when you start talking about how we get the shaft all the time being people of color, it's real. And I saw the broadcast you had with your sergeant, and he spoke the truth. He said, "Yeah, that's what it is." Sometimes he said he hears locker room talk. We heard locker room talk,
Yeah.
and some of them was us
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
wicked shit, and
Yeah.
that's where you get the mindset that it's okay to say that.
Yep.
So that's where it
You're right.
is.
Everybody, this is Bill Foster. I'm your host for Real Talk Chronicles. I have Mr. Guy Brown, Guy Witness. in the building, has his own podcast on his own radio call-in show. Want to shout out everybody chiming in. James Bullock in the building. Vanetta, she says, yeah, to hear Pence tell it, since it's a racism doesn't even exist, shaking my head. Shout out to Pierre's in the building. Tina, cousin Tina's in the building. Vanetta was co-signing what you were saying. She was talking about Oceanside. She said,
Yeah,
yes, it is. She said, they love 45 out there. I
oh
know
yeah,
that's why I wasn't trying to get out there. Al was trying to get me to move out there. I was like, nah, B, I don't play that. Because I know me, I end up touching some chins and
yeah,
I'd be locked up and lose my job.
dude.
Because, I mean, but you know what it is? I always call that, that's cop land and up north is cop land. You know what I'm saying?
And
But
and Staten Island.
Staten Island, they don't even think they are a borough.
No,
They think they are what is it that they think they're suburbs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, you know, I get it. I get it. Shout out Wayne in the building. I see you, Mashira in the building. Shout out everybody. Valencia, I see you. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I have Guy Brown with me. We are just keeping it real talk. And Guy Witness, we are on it today. Vanetta said, I used to live in Bayshore,
Oh,
Hempstead, and Melville.
yeah, right next. Bayshore is right next to me. I grew up in Roosevelt. Hempstead was right
Okay.
next to that. And the funny thing, we moved out to Roosevelt in 1968 from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
There was white people across the street from me, down the block, here. I'll tell you, it had to be like no more than a year later. They were all gone. Gone. They moved out
Poof.
fast. You can say shit. And I mean, it was like, Howard Stern tells a story about him living in Roosevelt and stuff like that in the 70s. He was gone. So, I'm looking at people, I'm like, when you start talking about gentrification and you start talking about redlining and everything else, listen, man, Long Island, you ain't got to worry about it. It's always going to stay racist.
Yeah. And understand that. I gotta also shout out Barry. Barry's watching from YouTube right now, and Barry is saying that
My
he
man.
used to hate that. Yeah, he said they would hunt me down to do extractions because I was 6'5", 330, and hitting like a sledgehammer. Absolutely. And wasn't getting paid for it. Nah, Barry, they wasn't. Shout out to my man, Bruce Boyd and all them crews, your extraction crew, man. Those are my dudes, man.
Yeah.
But then Barry said, but won't have your back when something goes left. Absolutely. Throw you out to the hill.
Man, you be down at Oath talking about how many days?
Yeah. Talking about like that little emoji. Put your hands up in the air, talk about, you know what I'm saying? It is crazy.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, give me your insight. I want to go into some politics with you in a few, but give me your insight on the whole Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Amir Aubrey, those cases like that. Just when you hear and see things like that.
Well, I heard you when you were talking to Sergeant about Breonna Taylor, and you can go all the way back to who's my brother in Howard Beach who got chased across the
Yusef Hawkins.
Yusef Hawkins. All of it to me is so real because I got stopped.
Right. Okay.
I got hemmed up. And if it wasn't for my badge, and you have to look at this from our perspective. And a lot of law enforcement don't want to do that. They don't want to flip it and say, if I was black, how would I want to be treated in this situation? Right. If you get angry and you sit up there and you stop me and, basically it's a good stop and you think that I did something wrong, you explain it to me. But now if I have a little bit of
attitude,
or just I don't speak the way you want me to speak, I'm like, so what up? So what up, officer? And now you got that attitude. What do you mean, what up? It just leads to something bigger than what
like you can't be black anymore. You gotta go right, like to say what up. Like everybody knows that's a terminology. Like
but they get beyond that. So when you go into these cases like Breonna Taylor, and all the rest, you're always going to have these people, and I got to put it the way it is, who think it's okay because they're black and they might have been doing something wrong.
Right.
So
Right.
you know and it's also about white privilege. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
if you're white and you don't experience any of that stuff, you don't know about it. So how many white guys can honestly say they had a bad experience with a cop? How many white guys can honestly say they got pulled over for absolutely nothing to wind up getting a ticket for nothing? You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so you know the Eric Gardner case was crazy. So you telling me over cigarettes, Lucy's? I gotta
Yeah.
die. You know, Breonna Taylor, she's sitting in a house. Now you got a no-knock warrant. You go in there, okay, somebody fired at you because you came in with the no-knock warrant. Now there's controversy between if they said police and all that other stuff. But you got one guy who recklessly shoots through a wall, and
Crazy.
you're
Crazy.
saying you're only charging him with reckless endangerment or whatever for shooting through the wall. Forget the fact that the lady's laying there with bullets in her dead. So
Yeah.
nobody plays accountability for those bullets.
Not
There's
at
no
all. Not at all.
accountability. So you know
And then,
that's where black people get upset or people get upset. And the thing that I like about this, Bill, the one thing that I'm gonna say is I'm loving the fact that not just black people are marching.
absolutely. Absolutely.
That is one of the tattletale signs that shit is changing. You
Well, you
know,
know what I said too? I tell people all the time, the world saw George Floyd get murdered. You
right,
know what I'm saying? You witnessed a murder, and whether you wanted to see it or not, you saw that. Then you saw, right before that, you saw Mr. Aubrey. He ended up getting, stereotyped
right,
because of his skin tone. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because people all of a sudden want to just be super cop. You
right,
understand what I'm trying to
right.
say? Like no, nobody bothering you. You see a man with white shirt and sweatpants running. He ain't picking up anything, and you all of a sudden you want to get in your pickup truck and go after him. You know what I'm
keyword
saying?
keyword
You and
pickup truck.
daddy.
Keyword pickup truck. Anyway,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I,
You and daddy. How about that? You and daddy
yeah,
getting your
you and
pickup truck, and then you get your friend. So you had enough time to call your boy
mm,
and get him and come out, and then you go chase this man. Like I said, I talked to Kevin. I was telling Kevin about the Breonna Taylor thing.
mm,
Like come on, man. I told him to watch the video because he said he didn't watch it, but I told him go back and watch it. I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's watching right now. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I have Guy Brown in the building. Shout out to Sensei Almeen Moore. Shout out to Miss Tony. I see you. Um, Valencia said, we are always assumed to be guilty and we are never supposed to speak, or it's viewed as talking back or stepping out of line. Yeah, and you're
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah.
Um, Vanetta said 11 people said they heard nothing, and 2 said they heard the officers, and those 2 weren't close in proximity of Brianna's apartment. Tina said one thing. She said, you look like you're enjoying a cigar. And she said, exactly, guy, where's the accountability? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you're right. Everybody, you're totally right. And what I hate to see a lot of times is when fellow officers don't speak out, and I think that's where there's such a disconnect. And then they take this, oh, it's us against the world. Well, you just put yourselves in that situation
Mm-hmm.
because you know they will hate. Well, of course, they hate me more than they hate you because I don't know what correction. But PD right now, I got a lot of white officers, no, not black officers, because black officers have shouted me out, and some
Right.
of the Latin officers have too. Some
Okay.
are they walking that fine line, they dancing with the man. But
Right.
there's a lot of white officers, and not all of them. And let me shout out. And first, let me just shout out to NYPD and Corrections Department. What
Mm-hmm.
we saying is what we feel as people of color.
Right.
We understand it's a job that we did. We did. We're not sitting here talking about we hated our job because I didn't hate my job.
Nah.
But the bottom line is I hate the BS.
Right.
And I ask a lot of you, how do you feel that you did your job with all sincerity, just do the oath when you feel the way you feel now. I don't understand that because I'm very confused with that. You
And
know what I'm saying? And I have no problems calling anybody out on that. So it is what it is. And I said what I said,
yeah,
and it's not trying to become a tough guy or anything like that. It's just the fact of it is people are tired. And when people are tired of getting tired, you know what I have a problem? I have a problem when they talk about, oh, they know Black Lives Matter has been infiltrated during these protesting by Antifa and antagonizing, but you still blame Black lives for the problem. What's your take on Black Lives Matter?
um, the funny thing about it is when Ice Cube came out with his comment about um, going to see Donald Trump with his plan, and
Mm-hmm.
um, the lady who started Black Lives Matter chimed in, and she's been doing it for a while.
Right,
And
right, right,
her thing was, I didn't start this movement because every life mattered. I
right.
started this movement because unarmed Black people were being murdered,
Absolutely.
and she used the term "murdered," and the accountability for it was not there. So, as Martin Luther King said, when you have a riot, it's because people aren't listening.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Martin Luther King said that. So, you can't sit up here and now say that Black Lives Matter is infiltrated by Antifa and they're a hostile group. Well, let's go back a little bit. You have domestic terrorism for centuries with the KKK, and they're still not considered terrorists. You have
Absolutely.
you have all these white groups that preach hate. Black Lives Matter is not preaching hate. They want understanding, they want accountability, and they want it to stop. And that's no different than what Kaepernick said in 2016. So, if you think that Black Lives Matter is a racist organization, like Donald Trump said, the first time I heard of Black Lives Matter is they were talking about pigs in a blanket and all that other stuff. I went, so 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 here
Yo,
we go with the guy who
he's a clown. He's a funny
listen,
dude, yo.
that's
He's a
that's a
funny dude.
whole show. For him
Yo.
to sit up here and say that he thought somebody else was racist, my man, you the one that putting C's on applications for colored, not allowing them to get in the building, got sued and had to straighten that out. You the one
Yeah.
sitting up here saying a black any athlete that kneels should be fired. You're the one that's sitting up here saying that the Central Park Five should have been executed and never
Absolutely.
apologized. You never apologized, even though their case was proven that they didn't do it. So,
Yeah.
when people want to talk about Black Lives Matter, and in a negative light, I'm like, well, if you're not black, how would you know?
Especially people of color, and shout out to our Latin family that stand with us and rock with us.
Mm-hmm.
The other Latin family that don't, you go ahead. I always tell people, my Latin family that don't stand with us, I still love you, but I tell you, when the slave ship come, I'm gonna see where you gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, don't be talking about yo. Listen,
Yeah.
nah,
Hell,
you was
hell.
rocking, b.
You
So
know, and assimilation has a lot to do with that.
yeah,
You have Hispanics that, and I love my Hispanic brothers and everything,
yeah,
but just like us, we have people who rock with them, rock with the racists and Trump and everybody else.
yeah,
Y'all have an ability to assimilate better than we do because your skin color.
yes,
Their skin color, their hair, their texture, and everything else. If they don't say their Spanish name, some of them can get over,
yeah,
as white. So, and some of them actually think they're white.
yeah.
So they play that role and they rock with them. Listen, God bless you. But like you said, when the slave ship comes, you might be going too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, like a OG told me a long time ago, man. He said it's one thing. He said, you know how you can gauge somebody too. He said you can gauge them by a white guy, a white family. Will they invite you to their house?
I
You
heard that.
know?
I heard that when you said that to the brother before, and,
Yeah.
and I think about that, and there was only one white guy that we was cool, but he was
Hmm.
doing what Barry would tell you was on my coattails. He didn't want to get
Mm.
hurt, so he was riding my coat. Went to his engagement party, been to his house, met his mother. Straight Italian guy.
Yeah,
Mother
yeah.
spoke nothing but Italian. She didn't speak
Mm-hmm.
English. Manja manja. That's all I remember. When I was over there eating. So I was, But as soon as I transferred, never
Yeah.
heard from that guy again.
Ain't that something? Yeah, yeah. It's sad, and like shout out to, I see Al Roman, Lucky, you right, Lucky was saying the statement we were making is true. Shout out. Tina said we speaking the truth. Thank you, cuz. Vanetta here. I want to hear about Ice Cube and Roland, and he was on Roland Martin with
Oh,
her, with the
yo,
leader from the. Go ahead.
Roland tore his. Well, Roland exposed him.
Right, right, right.
Roland said he had read both plans, the Trump plan and Ice Cube's plan, and he asked Ice Cube, "So, what's similar to your plan versus Trump's plan?"
That Platinum Plus crap, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And why is it called Platinum Plus again? Anyway,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, contract with America, Platinum Plus, and the thing that Ice Cube got stumped on is he could not, in detail, name one thing that was similar. But they took one thing out of Ice Cube's package and put it on their page.
Ain't that
And,
something?
and then what they do, they say Ice Cube is working with them.
Ain't that they put him right under the bus? You
And,
know.
and, and for him to sit up here and not understand that he was going to be used because, oh, I talked to both parties and I'm going to talk to whatever party wants to be with me or wants to listen and this and that, that's cool. When the Democrats told Ice Cube, well, look, man, after the election, we'll talk. That's not telling you you're not going to be able to include yourself in the process. But
Absolutely.
why would you just run over to somebody you say you don't support to listen to them? They're president of the United States right now. Cool. But do you know if they're going to be president later? So that
Yeah.
didn't make any sense to me for him to sit up there and go over there and articulate to them his plan when you don't even know if this guy's going to be. First of all, this motherfucker lie every time he can open his mouth.
Hey, yo, guy, that's like me going talking to Chief O'Neill when he was leaving, asking for a favor.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm like, why the hell would you do that? You're supposed to be street knowledge, and
Yeah,
it was evident through Roland's interview. This dude is nothing but street.
right,
He got to be the best actor in the world because some of the lines that he has, yeah, they're nice, but the way he was articulating, the way that he was speaking about everything was like, yeah, you definitely from the street. So why didn't you know you was going to get used?
yeah, yeah.
Why didn't you know that, Q?
Oh man, everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I got my brother, Kevin Brown, Guy Brown, excuse me. Because there's a Kevin that keeps trying to get into this group. I don't know who he is, but Kevin, you might as well
Oh,
stay out of it.
that's Kevin Coleman.
Oh, that's your people's?
Yeah, yeah, that's my vice president of my club, and he's kind of crazy. Don't let him in.
Oh, oh, okay. Let him in or don't let him in.
Don't let him in. No,
Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
We won't get him off there, huh?
Yeah, his name is Nasty. Don't let him in. Whatever you do, hey Kev, I love you, but this ain't for you.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. Um, Valencia said, Vanetta said true, and Black Panthers were on the FBI's most wanted list, and now not the KKK. You're right. Valencia said everything out of his mouth is a lie. Tina, you're right. He is a clown. Kim Shear, you're right. He's a clown. Kelly Murphy in the building. I'm going to read something from my man Lucky that I used to work with.
Okay.
Lucky, I always laugh when Lucky tells a story about me slapping somebody around, and only Lucky could tell that story. But Lucky said, Bill, talk about this. What about the others who say, why are you guys chanting Black Lives Matter when Black people don't care about their own lives since they're killing each other? Lucky. Let me tell you something. I keep it real, and Guy, as you can see, is keeping it real. Shout out to Rashid in the building. Walter, appreciate you. Real talk, absolutely chopping it up. Some real game right here. Mashira, you're right. Those Latinos are very confused. Mark Rose in the building. Not all though. Not all though. There are a lot that have our color. Yeah, you're right. It's sad and humiliating to be affiliated with them. I feel you, Monsieur. John Cross is in the building, my old partner. John, yes, you are that white guy that calls and checks up on me, and you have invited me to your house. I love you. So let's not get it twisted out. Anybody out there?
Mm.
I hope you ain't. I know, John, you might still vote for Trump, and I still love you anyway. But it's all good.
This
But
is
but you
right.
know what? So let me just say this. NYPD has introduced me to some beautiful people,
Hmm.
and then there's no disrespect anything that I say, but for all those who have worked with me and really know me, I have never said anything that I can't say. I didn't say then. I say it now, but it's more freely because the shackles are off. Back then, people called me. When people of color speak up, you guy. I don't know if you get this. When people of color speak up, we're we're militant. Why can't we be activists? When white people speak up, they're activists. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
When you and I speak up, we militant. I ain't militant. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't cross that line. You
right,
understand what I'm saying?
right, right.
So John, you're right. You are definitely. What up, Phil? I see you in the building.
Mm. Well,
Shout out everybody.
let me
Go
speak
ahead.
on this part.
Go ahead.
One of your boys just said that when we say Black Lives Matter, there's something about black on black crime. That's what he's
Yeah.
referring to.
No,
Those are,
what he's saying is basically. I'll read it again. But
Mhm.
basically, what he's saying is that officers get mad at us because we support Black Lives Matter, but then
Mhm.
they're trying to hit us with the narrative. Well, what is Black Lives Matter basically doing for people of color? But they didn't sign up to do that. And the thing is,
That's it.
um, why are we supporting that when they're killing black people? And I'm just going to put my spin on it first, and then you can follow up. The
Yeah,
bottom line is white on white people are killing people. Spanish on Spanish are killing people. Asian on Asian are killing people. You know, there's just a guy in New York City. People just a man down. There was over 40 shootings, right? And it was all over. Asian people, white people, everybody was killing. 40 people in New York City got shot over the
right,
weekend.
right.
So, I get the stats. So go
But
ahead, guy.
but
Go ahead.
it goes to this. Black guy ain't going out of his neighborhood go kill somebody in a white neighborhood. It's neighborhood oriented. So if white on white crime that happens at a high rate, it's in a white neighborhood. Black on black crime happens in black neighborhoods. That's just the way it is. What we're talking about with Black Lives Matter is unarmed people of color being killed. End of story. So that's
Yeah.
what that is. There's two different. That's two different spectrums.
And also, like the people said, you right, Lucky. I'm glad I clarified it for you. Like Vanetta said, the triads kill their own, and like it's nothing. Nobody's saying anything, right?
No, no.
You know, I see you, Susan, in the building. Shout out to Susan Rios. Valerie, I see you in the building. Kathleen, thank you. Um, so let's talk about um, get into a little bit of politics. Um, I'm telling everybody I'm voting Biden Harris. I don't care what you are voting. I'm not talking about you per se. Anybody that's listening, I'm tired of this dude. This has nothing to do to me with Republican or Democrat. This has to do with
Mm-mm.
lack of respect for the Oval Office. Just a lion. It's like a catastrophe of of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That I'm watching. But
Right.
you posted something, and I want you to elaborate on this for me.
Mm-mm.
When I looked on your page, because everybody wants to hold Biden accountable. You want to talk about Kamala and what she's done against the black people. But you posted something that was so prominent on your page. You said, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember verbatim what it was, but you said basically when that crime bill came out, you was like preachers, all black, I think politicians, anybody in law enforcement, everybody co-signed it. Black community leaders and everybody across the board co-signed that bill.
The
But
black
now you're holding this
the
man
black caucus
accountable
did
for that.
that as well.
So, go ahead, elaborate on that, please.
Yeah. The crime bill in 1994. We all remember, crack was running rampant, and
Exactly.
they had to do something. So they came up with this bill, and what was not really spoken of is how Biden made changes to the bill, because some people were saying, that um, three strike rules should apply for minor offenses as well as major offenses. We all know a crime is a misdemeanor or a felony or even a violation.
Exactly. Right.
So they were saying that this is the bill we want to give you. And he straightened that out. He says, no, only violent crimes is a 3-strike rule. Now, we all know how bad it was with the crack epidemic. And
Right.
it was going off the chain. There's no excuse how they made cocaine different than crack. No excuse in it. A rich man drug versus a poor man drug. All right. No.
Exactly.
Now with the what is that? What is the new drug now?
The
That they,
the I know we're talking about heroin. We're talking about the opium. What's
the one
what's it's out there.
whatever this drug is, and now all of a sudden they got reform for it. They're saying it should be
Oh
treated.
yeah. That was
Yeah, I
the
can't.
white kids they're
Yeah, the
killing
white
themselves
kids.
over. Yeah.
So now we got reform, but that 1994 crime bill everybody's crying about was backed by everybody. Was backed by so even though he may have created the bill, tweaked the bill, it was a necessary thing at the time. Of course, crime dropped to 46% by 46%
Right.
at that time. And
Yeah.
yeah, we had to go back and take action. And what he did through his administration with Obama is they fixed a lot of that. And not only that, when Trump wanted to sit up there and say at the last debate, "Oh, you put black men in jail for minor offenses with drugs," he says, and then Trump goes into, "Well, we release so many people." Biden said, "We released thousands. We released
Absolutely.
thousands." So
Absolutely.
everybody makes a mistake, but that one mistake you want to tout against Biden versus what Trump has done, over
That's crazy to me.
200,000 people are dead because this man said he didn't want America to panic. You got to be kidding me. If you think telling Americans, "I don't want you to panic," what are they doing now? What they're doing now is they're dying. They're not panicking. They're literally dying. So that crime bill that everybody wants to say, and then with the Kamala Harris thing, they're saying about Kamala doing her job as an ADA and a DA over in California. They're saying that she locked up all these black men for marijuana charges. Well, those marijuana charges, the ones that she locked up, they're claiming a number of 1,500. Those charges
Exactly.
that she locked up people for were accompanied by another charge, maybe a major charge. So that major charge, she knocked it down to the marijuana charge. Out of all the people she locked up, only 40 did state time. So
Right.
with that being said, people are under the misnomer that she was a bad DA. Listen, if it was a white guy doing that, y'all wouldn't have had said nothing. But being as a black woman doing her job, everybody got beef with Kamala. Some of the brothers are sitting up here. I got a brother that comes on my page all the time talking about she's a B and all this other stuff because she did all this stuff. Okay, so she had that going on, and you're going to turn around, you're going to tell me because of that you don't want to put her in office, but
Yeah.
you still allow Mike Pence and Donald Trump, the biggest racists in the world, to sit up in office for another term. Amazing.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like Sharon Saunders said, Obama and Biden pardoned over 2,000 people in their last
Yeah.
term in office, mostly who were serving time for low level offenses. Valencia, that's because they don't read. They keep repeating what they hear others saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
You know,
call that they're repeating from the corner stool. The guy on the
yeah,
corner, Gerard is telling Rashad, yo man, you locked up 1,500 people. Fuck that bitch. No. That's not exactly what she locked them up for. People don't understand that.
exactly. And it's so funny. It kills me now. Some people um and also Andre said, he said, just to go back a few steps back, he said the mafia killed their own in the 30s and the high rate in New York and Chicago. You're right about that. Nobody said anything. And you know what? You people idolize Al Capone. Everybody in the world know who Al Capone is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they
Mm-hmm.
idolize that in the Goodfellas and casinos and the movies like that and the Godfather. It is just so crazy that people want to be so woke now. Want to talk about holding the votes. I'm not holding shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm early voting like a mother. And anybody know me, Bill's always late. I'll be early this time around.
Bruh,
I will be
you know,
voting. I don't play that.
and it's apparent that everybody feels the same way you feeling because look how many people have early voted.
Yes, and
And,
also two people, be careful out there. It was on the news. I think one of the channels. Until they sponsor me, I ain't got to brag about them. I ain't got to mention them. But they was on the channels. They were talking about in North Carolina that there's been a lot of discrepancies with people of color votes
mm,
and not the white people. So they was on the news and it's like, yo, well, like, what's up with that? Well, we don't know what's going on with that right now. We'll try to fix. You better fix that because if you got over 200 people of color, or the percentile that they used in the
mm,
problems of early voting or mail-in ballots,
mm.
people don't get in there and try to get fancy with your signature when you signed this ballot maybe 30 years ago. Now all of a sudden you got a new signature. Knock it off.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah,
the look at the
yeah,
signature that you wrote
yeah,
back then and sign it the same way.
yeah. And
You understand what I'm saying?
another thing about the ballot voting, if they write something on your ballot, ask for another ballot because there's nothing that can be written on that ballot besides what you mark off in your signature. So you got to be aware of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. This is crazy out here, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm with Guy Brown. I'm your host, Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. If you like it, share it, let people know about it. Subscribe to it on YouTube. This is the only way people like Guy and myself get recognition because right now everybody has a show, but not everybody's going to be here after when this pandemic goes. Matter of fact, how are you? How did you or fail to ask you? How are you and your family doing this pandemic? Is everybody good and healthy?
We're good, man. My wife is in the medical field, so
Okay,
she don't play that.
good, 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 good.
I mean, she's hand sanitizer, mask, and my daughter plays soccer, so we have to go to certain places. She don't play that. So with the pandemic, we had in Suffolk County, Brentwood was one of the biggest outbreaks, and
Right,
we have 60,000 people who live in Brentwood, and I think the count recently was about 6,000. So right now the school is down because they had an outbreak in one of the middle schools and one person I believe in the high school. So my daughter is in at home learning or virtual learning for 2 weeks. But
right, right,
outside of that, we're good, man. We're good. I try, like I travel a lot with my motorcycle club out of state
right.
and places. Matter of fact, Thursday I'm doing another show called Bike Junkies, and that's out of Newark, New Jersey. And these guys, this show is relatively about the MC community, motorcycle community, and we're going out there to talk about the vote and trying to get people to make sure they vote and talk about politics and everything else as well. So yeah,
That's what's up.
we're doing all right.
That's a good thing. I appreciate that. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster. I have Guy Brown in the building, and Guy has his own thing. It's a podcast or it's a call-in show. It's a
No,
talk show.
basically it's just I do Facebook Live every 2 weeks. People can call me. They got my number. I put them through, and we just talk about everything. Main thing is, it's been for the past 3 years Trump, politics, and Kaepernick, and
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
have to try to get this whole thing under control. And this
Mm.
dude, the chief of staff, just said it'll never be under control. He said the virus will no, we're not going to be able to control it. Now Trump and them got mad because they're like, well, what is he talking about? Because we're saying it's going to go away. That
Right,
shows
right,
you the difference in somebody who wants to tell you the truth versus Trump who wants to feed these lies and trying to get his base to believe everything he says. And listen, his base is going to believe anything and everything he said. Like he said, he could be on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and they'll still do it. So his
yo.
base is his base.
You know what's so funny? And every name that he calls somebody, they end up using it, and it makes me laugh when I hear his followers repeat the nonsense that he says. Let me tell you something, and I'm saying this to everybody out there that's a Trump supporter. Please do your facts because when you repeat after him, you sound like an ass.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? I'd rather and it was so funny. I had a talk with I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, Italian brother, and I thought we were having an intellectual conversation about stuff, and then I broke down the whole, when they talk about Trump um, doing things for the blacks and stuff like that, and I broke it down to him how it was on the rise with Obama and Biden. Under Obama and Biden,
Mhm.
black people of color were getting work, and then Trump just picked it up. I also broke it down about the HBCU that
Yeah.
um, it was already on. It was Trump's administration that froze it, and then they signed it, so it looked like he did something to it. So I try to enlighten people like that, and you know, that's why they get mad at me when I call them delusional. And but I mean, listen, do your facts and do your homework. Um, Also too, what did shout out to Susan Rayos? She said there's a good piece on Kamala Harris on the podcast Code Switch talking about how Kamala took the position of the DA, tough on crime, to get more community people sitting at the table making decisions in the discourse in the discourse that she did. Exactly, Valencia. A lot of that was with the mail-in ballots. Please go in person. Yeah, people, please try to go in. Shout out to Jeff in the building. Kevin, shout out Kevin. Avion Ramos in the building. Shout out. Thank you, Jeff. Kathleen, that's right.
Well,
Everybody,
Kamala, also in her term over in California as a DA and ADA, she set up after incarceration programs that are still in place today. So,
right,
when
right,
people
right.
talk about Kamala, like, she was this tough DA that had no leeway, she had nothing for black people and stuff like that, you're absolutely 100% wrong.
Yeah, and shout out to I see Diana. She said, "Please vote in person, Biden Harris. Let's make change like we did for President Obama." You're right. Let me tell you something. I think, like somebody had said to me the other day. They said, they really think like white people are tired of Trump too. They don't want to verbally admit it,
You,
or
you know what?
outwardly admit it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I find funny? Every time they have, for example, the debate, they have these people set up to say, how they feel about the debate and whatnot. And when you talk about undecided voters right now, how I feel about it is this: if you're undecided, basically you're undecided because you're trying to justify your reason for voting for Trump.
Yeah, you
If you,
still gonna find a reason. You're still
yeah,
gonna find a reason.
you're just trying to find. Plus, out of the last debate, CNN had the people up there, and it was like 11 people, and out of the 11, 9 said they was voting for Biden after the debate. They said, I have had enough, this and that. They're going to vote for Biden. Now, we all know when you go to the booth, it might be a different story. But
Right, right, right.
the two who abstained and they said, well, listen, I still got to hear more. I don't believe that. I believe that, you're trying to justify to yourself or whoever that you can still vote for Trump because of maybe financial or whatever. And when people sit up here and say how much of a businessman this man was and how great he was, I live in New York. You live in New York. There was no way in hell New York was going to vote for this man to be president last election.
Nah,
We
hell
all
no.
knew what he was: a con man, a racist, a piece of shit.
Yeah,
And when the world seen him, they thought the rumors were true. He this great entrepreneur who made money and was successful. Man, when you born into wealth, we're not talking about being rich. We're talking about wealth.
right,
His
right.
family created that wealth from when they first came over here, and the grandfather went over to California, had a brothel and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden with real estate, they started doing their thing. When you come from wealth and you're born with $3 million nest egg, come on, man. You telling
Like
me?
like just like as in rest in peace, the late great Bernie Mac would say he got it from his pappy. You know what I'm saying? He's a pappy.
Yes, sir.
Diana said. She said, "What did you say, Diana?" She said they want to let the virus let the virus to continue to kill people in the minority communities. The minority communities are getting hit the hardest. Absolutely. Mark said you can't teach the teachless, particularly the Trump supporters. Yep. Mashira's co-signing what you said. She said, yes, she did, in lieu of what you were talking about, what she did for people of color. Valencia said, vote all the way down the ballot. Exactly. Shout out to everybody that's watching. This is Bill. I'm Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I have Guy Brown in the building. Guy, I think Diana, you're supposed to be coming on Wednesday, and Barry, I think you're supposed to be coming on if you're still listening. Kevin Branzetti might not be on. Guy, if you want to come back Wednesday, you are more than welcome. You are family to this show right now. You are always welcome to come back anytime you want to. But if you're free Wednesday, you're more than welcome to come back. If not, I understand. But you are always welcome to come back and chop it up with me, brother. Jeff
For sure.
Anderson said Trump was born with the foot of the third base. Yeah, we were born barely on the neck of on the deck circle. You're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Valencia says society was infiltrated with celebrity status and lost touch with reality. Diana said he always excluded minorities from his buildings and businesses. Yeah, and that's what kills me a lot of times with some of my Latin people. And shout out to my Latin people. I think this is Latin History Month. Um, you know, some of y'all got to wake up and get more, back involved. And it kills me when I see a lot of my Latin brothers like they co-sign in the 45 thing, and I think they're doing it because they're cops. They were
Mm-hmm.
like law enforcement because you're just going along with the masses. And,
Yeah.
and don't get your trunks in a bunch. I said masses, not massa. But
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? And if I said it, you ain't gonna do nothing anyway. But still, I'm saying masses. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
the bottom line is like everybody out there, please get out there and vote. Do what you got to do.
Exactly.
Roxanne, what's up, Roxanne? Roxanne, excuse me. Tongue got tied right there. Got Jeff Anderson, my dojo brother, in the building. Shout out to the martial arts family that's watching and chiming in.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, Guy and I are in the building too. Shout out to law enforcement family that's in the building, our correction family, our PD family. Shout out to all of you on a Monday, a dreary Monday, for showing love and appreciate you for supporting Real Talk Chronicles, and also appreciate you supporting Guy when he does his Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
When's the next one you having, Guy?
This Sunday it'll be at 12 o'clock. I'll be calling you.
Yes,
I'll be
I'll be
calling
with you, brother.
you.
I will be right with you, brother. I will rock with you, man. Definitely, because this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna share each other's stuff. I'm gonna share his stuff. He's gonna share my stuff. Because you know
Yeah,
what's so funny? We put ourselves out there in the front line, and I appreciate you all that inbox me and text me. Um, and I'm sure Guy feels the same for his people that
definitely.
we give you a platform to speak your mind and your piece. Vanetta, Mark, Diane, Valencia, all you guys. You really support me and my wife and with her show. I'll be interviewing her tomorrow on the 10th anniversary of her business, her art gallery, because we're doing about small businesses that have been affected by the pandemic. But we are doing a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I also the second the second Monday of the month, starting in November, I'll be back. It will be like Real Talk with Allison Williams. I think we will be doing something with lupus. Everybody, Allison was the first female signed to Def Jam. She has the infamous talented song "Just Call My Name," which came on the 30th anniversary. So please give a shout out to Allison. Also, too, we have Assemblyman Al Taylor. He will be here the first Monday in every month talking this politics with Al Taylor, the assemblyman out of Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be here, I think, the 2nd of November. I think he has trying to get a good lineup for all the people that are running for the mayoral candidacy. I think he's trying to get, Stringer, Adams, Mark Levine, whomever,
Wow.
anybody that's trying to run, he's trying to pull them in.
Mm-hmm.
Guy, you're always willing and able to chime in if you want. Like I
Okay.
said, you family now, so everybody out here, I appreciate you. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I have Guy Brown with me. I love the comments. I'm looking at you guys. Let me. Brian Benjamin invited me to something. I had to see. I got to get Brian Benjamin on the phone too. Mashira said, and many Latinos who are religious and Republican conservative. But I feel if you have strong faith to have faith, you have to look at all of the actions of the most powerful seat in the country. Absolutely. Mark said they do it because it's taught to them not to be like those blacks. Southeast Asians, mostly everyone. Blacks are considered bad until turn is up.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah,
We built this country. Well, like they always said, everything about black was bad. Bad, bad guys wore black. Black cat. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
we know it as black is beautiful. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
That's
Every
that's
color,
how I know it. You know what I'm
every
saying?
on
You
all
know.
colors of the spectrum.
Yeah, shout out to Vonda Williams in the building. Sharon, thank you, Bill, and thank you, God. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diana said, some Latinos really are pro-Trump. 45 could care less about you and your family. And you know what's so funny? I find a lot of Latin people, some that are probably really second generation citizens, maybe, or maybe the first generation citizens.
Right.
Like you're so like Trump. Like I'm like, wait a minute. Your parents don't even speak English,
And
and
they
you're
and he wanted to deport him.
if he saw you near that border, your ass is out of here, yo,
And
yo.
listen, my community is a majority Hispanic,
Uh
and
huh.
I mean, just to hear some of them speak about it, and you turn around, and look at them, and you says, "Are you legal?" And they shut right the fuck up because they got family members that may came from another country and living in the house. We got houses out here that have 20 cars in front of them. Why would you have 20 cars if you're not housing family? So when you see that and you see them talking about how Trump, Trump, and you can't even vote, but you talking about Trump.
And you got cars in front of your house like a damn shopping mall. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling up looking for a sale and shit, and I'm like, oh shit, it's your house. My bad. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yo, everybody, I'm Bill Forster. This is Guy Brown. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We are kicking it. I'm gonna let Guy say whatever he wants to say. I've had this man in his car for about an hour and some change. Well,
man.
I'm saying on the strength of me, Guy, you are always welcome back. Like I said, Wednesday, if you free, you want to come back and chime it in. It's all welcome. Even if you peep in for 5 minutes and peep right out, you let me know what you want to do. We are brothers. We are connected by
Right,
more than just this what we doing. We
right.
connected by this activist stuff. We
Mm,
connected by the martial arts. We connected by this blue that and we just connected, brother. So, shout out to Barry Lee for putting us together. Barry's my
yeah.
brother. I love you. Shout out to your Long Island people, everybody that's chimed in. It's like, oh, I didn't know you knew God. I know him now. What's up, fellas? You know
Dig
what
it.
I'm
There
saying?
you go. There you go.
So, Guy, I want you to give some words of wisdom. If anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about, brother.
Nah, man, you went through the whole gambit, bro. I mean, you
Yeah.
really, really on it. I mean, the only thing I can say is, I would.
Hold on. I got one more thing before we go. Susan asked, did we talk about the NFAC, the armed black group talking about defense in Georgia and elsewhere, working with police every step of the way too? Shout out. Thank you, Susan. Susan, we're going to get you on the show real soon.
Oh,
And Sharon, she said, I'm Afro-Latino, and most Latinos, no matter what shade they are, have African blood. Absolutely, sister.
mm,
Um, uh, but they were not taught their history and therefore have no pride in their African roots. You are absolutely right.
wow.
But Shira said, Bill, remember those show where we talked about the Latinos culture who who believe in improving the race by choosing light-skinned partners to have children with? Yeah, that is a part of the issue, sadly. And sadly, they believe white is right. Yeah, definitely. But I appreciate you all for chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Please like it and share it. Subscribe to it on YouTube. Keep me moving and grooving. I mean, I get a lot of calls outside of the shows,
Mm,
and it really keeps me motivated to do it because right now, every celebrity and everybody has a podcast right now.
right.
And right, I'm I'm probably the slowest on the totem pole. You mean
Mm,
Guy and I might be because we're
yeah,
not celebrities. But when this
right.
country opens up again, all those podcasts are gonna go away, and Guy and I are still gonna be here.
We're still gonna be here, bro. Still
Still
gonna
gonna
be
be
here.
here.
Good fight.
And
So,
what's so funny? So please tell a friend, let them know that this is what I'm talking about.
mm,
I'm not saying anything that I haven't lived and experienced. This is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Guy Witness. That's Guy Brown. I'm Bill Forster. Guy, what about the NFAC? What do you think about that?
I don't know too much about it.
Right, right.
This is my first time. I mean, the most I've heard about, the militia thing and stuff like that, which I can't understand how you allow white people to walk around with long arms, calling themselves a militia when that's supposed to be something that the state or the government authorizes. Um, as far as what is that? The brothers militia is not fucking around.
Yeah,
Yeah, um, it was needed
yeah,
uh,
absolutely,
to
absolutely.
show people you want to play that game, we can play that game too. So, I don't know anything about the other one, but I'm told, listen, please enlighten me. Let me know what that's about. I mean,
Yeah,
anything
yeah. But
anything
I
that
think
brings
that's the same
awareness.
one. I think that's the same one that not fucking around or something, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right now, I mean, I think they made a lot of people utilize their Second Amendment rights.
Right.
And
Right.
I tell people out there, everybody, please, if you can get a gun license, get it. Protect yourself,
Yeah.
because if you have groups out here talking about Proud Boys talking about, yo, if he don't get elected, we going to war. It's gonna be a civil war. And listen,
Yeah.
let me tell you, all those Trump supporters out there that of people of color,
Mm-hmm.
black or brown, when them boys start shooting at you, that they don't care about that Trump sign. They
They
just
ain't
see a
asking you
person
who
of
you
color.
voted for. They ain't asking you who you voted for. And the funny thing
Mm-mm.
about it, man, it's illegal for them to try to keep you from the polls if they got long arms by you. They're not supposed to be
Yeah,
anywhere by. So, if you see it, report it.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host. I have Guy Brown in the building, baby. We've been chopping it up, kicking it. Guy, before I let you go, brother, like I said, you're always welcome back.
Appreciate
Um, give the people some words of wisdom, some encouragement, whatever you want to say before I let you chime off and enjoy the rest of that cigar, because
it.
I will
Well,
be joining you T minus. Uh,
well,
go
the
ahead,
only
brother.
thing I can say, man, is I love your program. And
Thank you.
for the
Appreciate
people
that.
who, I'm definitely going to pump your program through with my little live feed when I go to Mike's
We sharing
on
each other's stuff. We
Thursday.
sharing each other's
Yes, sir.
stuff, bro.
Yes,
We
sir.
sharing each
And
other's stuff.
the main focus should be right now to get rid of this motherfucker out of office. If anybody has any idea that this man is not going to try to do anything he can to get reelected, you got to understand you're dealing with somebody who's been a con artist his whole life,
Yep,
who lived his
absolutely.
life, and he don't care about his supporters. They're
Oh,
poor, broke, sitting in the hills of West Virginia, sitting up there with long arms, talking about we're better off now than 4 years ago. Really, with the employment rate
and no
where it
disrespect to
is?
white people, but the ones that he's talking about, he's talking about straight hillbillies. A lot of
Yes,
you got cocoa
yeah,
them cats,
yeah. You know,
spitting tobacco
yeah.
and chewing backwoods. Like
The,
knock it off, D.
the only
Whatever.
people who are benefiting from him is the rich, and
Yeah,
the people who are making over $400,000 that Biden wants to tax a little 4 more percent. They're crying about it, and they're going to vote for Trump because of that. But outside of that, these people who are sitting around here barely making it or putting for unemployment and waiting for a stimulus, they think that Trump is going to give you a stimulus. Listen, if Trump gets back in office, you really think he's going to give you a stimulus check?
he was talking
No.
about cutting Social Security. Think
Yeah.
about that. Remember that? A
If
lot of
you're not
people.
if you're not paying tax, if you're not going to pay taxes, like he said, he's not going to take taxes out of your paycheck. That's what the taxes are for, is um, to finance the government programs. So how
Yep.
now is Social Security going to get paid? How are you going to get paid Social Security if you're not paying into it? So my words of wisdom is plain and simple. Watch Bill Foster's show.
That's
Learn
what's up.
what you're talking about before you speak it, and just make
Yeah.
sure you get out there and vote and get this clown out of office. That's all I got to say.
I appreciate you, Guy. Everybody, that's Guy Brown. Send that man a friend request. I don't know how many friends he got left on. I know out of 5,000. But if you can, send him a friend request and maybe let him know that you met him via Bill Foster or something like that. Should be
Oh
the
yeah,
common denominator. Because
definitely.
a lot of times I get friend requests from the Real Talk Chronicles page or the
Right.
real or like Real Talk Chronicles on Facebook, please. Because For most of I was in the city, but the hardest thing that I've ever been able to do is promote positivity, and I've done it like I've done with Habitat for Humanity for Katrina.
Wow.
I did something at 4040, and damn near had 30 people. You know what I'm saying? Jay gave me the club
Wow.
for free. You know, I mean, but the thing is positivity. But I could do a brunch party before the COVID once a month, and it's a jam pack. You
Wow.
know, shout out to Assorted Flavors that we was doing our thing. Barry said he said also wants to eliminate disability. Yeah, please don't stop that because I'm one of them cats. You know what I'm saying? So don't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody like it, share it. I mean, if that's the least thing that you can do, share it on your Facebook page or go to YouTube and push the like button. I will be sharing Guy's work when he does his stuff on Sundays. So you'll be able to chime in. I'll have either watch party or something like that. I'm Bill Foster. That's Guy Brown. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Guy, I'm gonna let you go. I'm
All
gonna
right,
stay on
bro.
for a few minutes. I'm gonna talk to him, brother. You good,
All right.
baby?
Be
All
easy.
right, Guy. I see you
Appreciate you.
later, family.
All
Love you,
right.
bro.
Love you
Peace.
too. Peace.
All right. Everybody, that was Guy Brown in the building, baby. Please check out his stuff. I have some more announcements that I have to make to you before I let you go and before I leave. I just want to say, listen, what I do it because I feel it's a calling, and that's what it's all about. So that's how I rock. Um, my wife is an integral part of what I do. Uh, she helps me. She supports me. I support her. There are so many different things that I sit here and from a promotional standpoint, and I think about what I do and how I can give you the best content that I have in me and give you all this knowledge, right? Right now, I have this young lady that's pulling up next to me.
That's right.
And
Young lady.
she just helped me all wish her a happy 50th birthday. My wife just turned 50 years old.
Oh my goodness.
So, this is what this is the big 5-0.
Yes.
She just came and just happy birthday, sweetheart.
Well, thank you, sir.
She joined the 50-50 club, y'all.
That's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it is, right? How
I
you
don't know
feel?
why I find that so funny.
That's all right. Giggle, giggle, chuckle, chuckle, all
Yeah.
that, whatever. This is Real Talk Chronicles. Like I said, everybody, that's Malika Foster. That's my lovely wife. We just had Guy Brown on the show.
That was a good show.
That was a good show.
Yeah.
My brother Guy, he's always welcome back. Guy, I want you to come back if you can.
Definitely.
I know you on the sidelines, but you're always welcome back, mother. I appreciate that because you know what's so funny? Brothers uplift brothers. There was this thing going out on Facebook, the brothers challenge and stuff. Black man, I lift another black man. I'm lifting that brother up. He's lifting me up. Thank you all for lifting us up. I shout out. I see you, Mario. I see you, Delcina. I think you just had a birthday too. Sharon said happy birthday. People saying happy birthday. Guy just said happy birthday. Thank you, Guy.
Thank you, Guy.
Malika, you have a segment every 2 weeks. You do. I'll let you tell them about it.
Yeah, I want to thank you. Bill came up with this idea a couple weeks ago, and it actually stemmed from something that we did earlier in our show. I think a couple months ago when I interviewed both of the Aaliyahs, Aaliyah from Cove and also Aaliyah from Make My Cake.
Yes.
So a lot of people know, I think I'm trying to spread the word a little bit more, that I have a deep passion for small business owners because I am a small business owner myself. And I just want to we want to do our part in helping to spread the word about small businesses. So 2 Tuesdays ago was our kickoff. So every other Tuesday, we're going to interview a different business owner. Our very first person was our dear friend Audrey Watson.
Audrey's in the building.
Shout out Audrey. Hey Audrey.
So rum cake is in the building.
The Rum Cake Kitchen. It is delicious. I have to tell you, my birthday sprint, I've eaten so many sweets.
You still fine.
Oh, baby. I've eaten so many sweets.
I know, real talk. I know what the hell to say. I ain't gonna chop my shit up. And Delcina, happy birthday today. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Delcina.
All right.
But yeah, no, that's why we do our bike riding and stuff like that. But the Rum Cake Kitchen is amazing. So please go to her website. And thank you to those of you who saw the show and also placed orders. Audrey and I were talking about that earlier today. So I think that's wonderful.
Right. The one thing about Real Talk Chronicles, we support. You
Yes.
support us, we support you. And
Absolutely.
the bottom line is, we're not built to hate. Because when you hate, you block your blessings.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. If anybody who knows Bill and knows Malika, nobody's hating.
No.
Nobody's hating. We spreading love. We're spreading love the Christian way, the positive people way, the people of color way. Just we spread love. That's what we do, because the bottom line is, we want everybody to be built up to whom they're supposed to be. So shout out, like I said, Guy Brown. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to all of you that support us. We appreciate you all. So what are we doing tomorrow?
So with that being said, I mean, you have an amazing platform, Bill. You're doing an incredible job. And I always tell you, it's a pleasure to be a part of it.
Right.
So the second segment, our second business segment, Bill Foster is going to interview his wife.
Yes, I'm going to interview my wife. If you look over my shoulder, her and her mother, they're born on the same day. How lucky am I to have two women in my family now, born on the same day?
That was so cute.
Right?
Thank you.
But her mother is the artist, and Malika is the business aspect of the business. It's called
Soft Illusions Fine Art Gallery. I just want to show a little sneak peek of something.
Yeah, bring some of the stuff up here.
No, I just, I'm always on the computer, and I try to come up with different ways to show my mom's artwork.
Right.
So I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of what I'm showing tomorrow. But this little baby right here has her artwork in it. So it's a miniature book of art. I'll show you a little bit more detail tomorrow. But yes, so that's our first time doing a little publication like this, and it's just a little mini book of artwork. So we have lots of little things like that. It's our 10-year anniversary. I cannot believe it. So we're going to talk all about that.
You're going to show tomorrow some of the new stuff that
we have a lot of new things. This is just one of many of our new items.
Y'all got to tune in tomorrow.
I know. I'm just like,
what time are we going on tomorrow?
So we're going to do it at 7.
Oh, we're going to stay
at 7.
You sure you don't want to do it 6?
I think I'm going to actually do it from here.
Oh, you're not going to do it from the gallery?
No. No.
You don't want to?
I can. I can, but I just want to be safe out here. So I think I'll just do it from home.
Well, maybe I might even come to the gallery and interview you at the gallery.
That would be good if you were there with me.
Yeah.
It's just a lot going on in the city, and I'm just trying to be smart about
That's why I'm trying to get my wife to get her Second Amendment right to get her a gun license too.
I need that and some self-defense.
God, we gonna teach her, God. We gonna get her. I'm trying to get her. That. Shout out to Soki Little John. Shout out to
I'm not finished
though. I'm just giving some shout outs.
Okay.
Shout out to Malik Shabazz, my jiu-jitsu instructor, as he says, my street partner, his partner in training. Shout out to Andre Juggernaut Richardson, my master in the martial arts too. Shout out to all the people that I'm affiliated with. Abdul Mutsawer. Just shout out to Lamar Thornton, all of those great masters that I have affiliations with and love for. So I had to give back, shout out to that martial arts world. So go ahead. What else you want to say?
I forgot.
I
forgot what I was going to say. So anyway, tomorrow is part 2. We're doing this business segment every other Tuesday. Tomorrow's the second one. And Bill is going to interview me. So I have 2 businesses, 2 official businesses. One is the art gallery with my mom. And the second one is my web design business, Design Interactions. So we're going to talk all about that. I want to share my story with you, and hopefully it will inspire someone. So as Bill always says, just please spread the word. We appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it. So tomorrow, 7 o'clock, tune in.
Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, tune in. Wednesday, Kevin may not be with me.
Oh.
Diane, are you and Barry supposed to be in with me this Wednesday, right? Let me get some confirmation on that. And I've asked Guy to come back Wednesday if he's free at 7 o'clock. I would love him to come back. Barry, let me know if you can make it. Diane, let me know if you can make it. Matter of fact, anybody else, this is one thing about Real Talk Chronicles. All you have to do is inbox me or text me if you ever want to be on the show. As long as you have some positive or some knowledgeable stuff to say, you can be on the show. I'm not putting people on the show that's got gibberish. We don't do gibberish.
No.
Yeah. And I mean,
No.
we have some stuff, give me a topic, shout out to, I know Sister Brenda was talking to me about domestic violence. That's a big topic. I might want to shout out to my Latino family, my Hispanic family. I think this is a Hispanic month. Respect. I always deem us as one. I don't see separation in that. So excuse me for being intelligent and smart. It is what I am. That's who I am. Everybody, I know everybody's saying happy birthday.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second, Bill?
Yeah, talk about your birthday. Go ahead, girl.
Wow. So everybody is amazing. It is an incredible thing that I was born on my mom's birthday, as she tells me, 10:10 a.m., October 25th, 1970. She breaks it all down, but she was up in the hospital on her birthday, giving birth to me. We're like this, aren't we, Bill?
Oh my God.
Oh, we're texting all the time on the phone. That's my girl. That's my girl. So yes, we share our birthday. So my mom turned yesterday, and I turned 50. Bill, you have a 50-year-old wife. How do you feel about that? Say something nice. Look, say something nice now.
She ain't feeling like my sister Jeanette Rivera said. She said, "Yo, it was a typo. She ain't 50." You're right.
It was so sweet. People were saying that. Yeah, that's very sweet. I don't know what 50 is supposed to feel like.
It's a milestone.
Supposed to act more mature. That's not going to happen.
No. Don't. Listen, we're in a world where, listen, don't act your age. Really.
Yeah, that will never happen.
Don't.
I feel great.
Mark said, "Hey, love you both simply because." Oh yeah, Mark said, "Hey, love you both simply because the way you project black love. Just a wonderful couple. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Mark.
Mark is one of our dudes.
So, Bill, I mean, you put up some really nice posts.
It's Diane. It's in Philly. Her gallery is in.
It's in Philly. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's in Philly.
It's a part of Philly called Manioc. But it's in Philly. Yeah, so we'll have like the website address down on the ticker tomorrow. But I just want to tell you, you put up the sweetest post yesterday for Mom and I.
I did.
No,
I
appreciate that. I really did. I appreciate it. It was so funny because I started to walk in the room and you were like, "No, wait, don't come in. I'm putting your birthday post up." So I was like, "Okay, it's going to be something good over there."
Yeah.
So thank you. But all the love, my gosh, I was like, for me, like I cannot express to you.
But let me read some of the comments like people are saying.
I appreciate that because I read, look, I have my glasses are always right here. I read every single one.
Oh.
And I felt so special.
You should.
I loved it.
You better feel special.
No, I feel special every day, but that made me feel even more special.
All right. Delencia said, being 50 is fabulous.
It is.
Jeff Anderson, shout out to brother Jeff. Tell your wife we said hello, please. It's always good to see you guys.
Hi, Jeff.
We got to see y'all real soon.
Yes.
He said, can't believe it's 50, right? Exactly. Kathleen said, you look good. Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Vanetta said, you guys are the cute and funny. Yeah, that's true. Who's cute and who's funny?
We're both.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Treadwell Clay is in the building. What's up, brother?
Hey,
how you doing?
Brother Clay.
Diane, thank you. What a great relationship. Thank you. Appreciate you. I know. Happy birthday to your daughter. So, okay. Shout out to us. See, Mike Dog is in the building. Tamara, what's going on, sis? Shout out to everybody that's chiming in. This is Real Talk Chronicles. We will be back with you tomorrow. We're trying to adjust that time. I know it's 6 or 7. We'll post it early to let you know.
We'll do 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do 7. We'll stick to the same time. We don't want to throw anybody off. See, I'm getting thrown off.
Yeah. All right. So we might find out how we do it. I was going to interview her, but even if we might have to
are going to interview me. It's
I'm
just
going
a matter
to
of where we can't obviously be in the same room.
No, we're not going to do that. So
I like you and everything, but
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
be in the same room.
So basically, what we were trying to do, we were trying to interview her from the gallery, so you can actually see the gallery, but that'd probably be hard too because she would be sitting in places, sitting still. Hopefully, if her and her mother are together, that would be a good
We'll
thing.
figure it out. You know, we'll
You'll
figure
figure
out
it
the
out, but or
logistics of
maybe,
it.
and even if I might have to interview her from the gallery where we could just show you some stuff and some of the artwork, and we can talk about the business there. But that's what's up, you
But
know.
I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I haven't been interviewed in a while, so I think you're the perfect person to interview me.
That's true. I am. I might even ask a real talk because one thing a lot of people don't know, real talk started from a relationship standpoint. So I might even ask her how's it feel to be married to the first. Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. That's Malika Forster. I'm Bill Forster. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I have to shout out Guy Brown in the building, baby. He brought the pain. Let me tell you something. It was just a pleasure.
That was good.
Guy, his family, he is always welcome back. I say that all the time. I appreciate him so much. Um, Barry, Barry Lee, thank you for introducing us, man, bringing us together. But to see, that's black love. That's building up our brothers and sisters. Shout out to Audrey in the building, Sharon, Diane. There's so many of you, Vanetta, Mark, Sharon, Terrell. You guys are beautiful together. I love to see successful, powerful couples working in unison. Hold on to this forever. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh, Vanetta said Malika Forster is cute. Bill Forster is funny. Okay, I'll take that. Daryl Solomon, I see you. I got your message. I don't know about that family thing. I'll have to chime back in. A cousin Tina is in the building.
Thank you, Tina. My cousin, I love you.
Thank you for the great show tonight. Diane, I wish you could be on the board. I could chime in, but I will be with birthday dinner with my daughter. Just show some love, baby. Just chime in from afar. But I'm handle your dinner. Eat where y'all going to eat at tomorrow? Everybody, this is Real Talk Chronicles. You asked something like where they're going to eat. She said she was going to dinner. Okay. Baby, I wanted to bring her some food. No, it's not. Ain't that some black shit, right? We'd be like, yo, bring me something. She didn't. Everybody. So wait, can we before you go? Okay. Just talking about food, and I'm thinking about my cousin. All right. So I don't know how people know I love cheesecake, but I haven't had cheesecake in a while. And my cousin, you sure had it yesterday. Oh my goodness, the past 2 days. Well, it was my birthday. Yeah. Right? So my cousin sent me these mini cheesecakes. They were incredible. I still have them. I don't want to make it seem like I eat all of them. And then my neighbor brought over a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Lady. Yeah, shout out to Nabala Clarkston. Claxton, yeah. Clarkston. So our neighbor, and she just happened to tap on the door yesterday. Claxton. I thought it was Clarkston. And so she said, yeah, apparently there's a place, I think in Philly or right outside of Philly called the Cheesecake Lady. So anyway, I have had my fill of cheesecake because they're so good. So we're going to have to go bike riding again, Bill. I got to burn this off. Yeah. They're so good. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to ride. Everybody. It's PG. PG. It's OG. That's what it's about to be. It's you and me. Yeah. Malika, say something nice and say something. Well, you always say something nice, but say something that you kill me with that. Say something nice. Yeah, I just want to let people know. Where's the dog? He's back here snoring. You can't hear him. He is right there. He's always close. Yeah. Oh, close Bill, sometimes. You love him. No, I don't. Anyway, everybody. He gives the dog like back massages. Okay, say good night. Belly massages. All right, everybody. This is Real Talk Chronicles. I'm your host, Bill Forster, with my lovely wife, Malika Forster. We had Guy Brown today. We had a bunch of you in here today. Thank you for spending your Monday with us. The best thing and the hardest thing I can try to do is just give you some positivity, be informative, and just give you good, real talk. See you tomorrow. I interview Malika Forster. We're going to chop it up tomorrow. We're going to find out about soft illusions. 10 years, right? Yes. 10 years. Wednesday, I'm back. Cameron Banzetti is usually with me, but I don't know if he'll be here. But it's all right. You'll be here with me. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
As they say on the TV, bye. All right, y'all.